a Major League Baseball or any baseball manager submits a lineup where they're having a catcher and the other catcher on the roster as a designated hitter, they run the risk that should a person playing catcher end up having to leave the game for any reason, they lose the designated hitter for the rest of the game. That happened today as Mitch Garver was hit by a pitch in the second inning. He did manage to take first base, but he was unfortunately not able to come back out to catch in the third inning. He got hit on the he got hit on the wrist by the pitch, and from my understanding, it's a wrist contusion. That did require the Mariners to have Luis Castillo hit once today. They brought him out. He gave up 3 earned runs today. He pitched really well. Pitched relatively well. 3 runs is not the end of the world. Unfortunately, it sometimes feels like the end of the world with the Mariners because we average about 3.6 runs per game, and we strike out about 15 times a game. We did, other than Luis Castillo, each time we brought in a pinch hitter for the pitcher, and of course because of the rules about position players pitching on the mound and the fact that it was a 3-3 game for a while, we were trying to still win the game. We would bring in the pinch hitter and then bring in our next pitcher, and then they would pitch, and they'd be relieved if they needed to be, all that. You'd still do it the right way. It did require us to literally empty our bench, and it's likely that the Mariners are going to have to call up a catcher, possibly bring Sebi Zavala back onto the Major League roster, who was designated for assignment a while ago and did voluntarily accept the assignment to Tacoma. So he's the catcher down there. The other option would be maybe Harry Ford, but Harry Ford's down in Double A, and I don't think bringing up Harry Ford would be good. Um, Luke Raley had a great point today. He said we don't have timely hitting because his one strikeout was with runners at second and third with 2 outs in the first, and unfortunately he did not get the chance to get those runs. He struck out there. Cal struck out 3 times, but you know what? He got a hit. We had hits today. We had 9 hits, walked twice, struck out 11 times, while only giving up 8 hits and walking none. So by all accounts, we should have won this game. The problem was Thornton. Um, where is Thornton's pitching line? Thornton's pitching line. Not Thornton. Stanek came in, gave up 2 runs on 2 hits with the home run. Giving up that home run was the difference in the game. Demo had a triple, which was amazing. I always love seeing triples. They're one of my favorite things. We used Castillo for 5 off, Bauman, Stanek, and Thornton. I believe we may have used Castillo more for longer had we not lost the designated hitter, maybe another inning. But unfortunately, you can't really trot out your pitcher to be a guy you want to try to. If you're trying to win a game, you don't do that. I understand it was a thing we did in the National League for a while, but no, you don't do that. Al scoring demo was great. Minnesota actually went up on us originally. They scored in the three of their runs, and then they scored the other 2 runs off Stanek. Which, okay, so yeah, now I'm remembering why we took Castillo out after 5. He didn't quite get a quality start. 6 innings, 2 earned runs or less, or 3 earned runs or less, but still, he is relatively good. We have an off day tomorrow, so it'll give us time to figure out what we're doing, as we currently have Brian Wu on the 15-day IL, and then we also have to worry about what we're going to do on backup catcher, see if Mitch maybe needs 10 days on the IL. Hopefully he doesn't need longer on the IL. But I would definitely recommend at least giving him a couple of days off to heal. We play Baltimore again, then Toronto. Baltimore just lost to Texas big. Like, big. It's a game that stressed me out a lot. A lot of nonsense happened during the game. Uh, it's very frustrating when you lose your designated hitter, but I understand why Major League Baseball has the rules in place. There should be an exception for injury, um, as opposed to just taking out your designated hitter and moving them into there for no reason. I believe there should be an exception for injury. The 11 strikeouts was too much of a problem. We actually today had 11 base runners and 11 um, strikeouts, so that's the problem. Is that you strike out. We struck out multiple times with runners in scoring position, runners at second and third, runners at first and second. The problem was in that first and second inning, we could have had or 6 runs, and we just didn't capitalize. There's too many strikeouts. Julio today batting um, third went 1 for 5 with no strikeouts. I'm okay with that. We had a lot of people with we had one, three, four, five. We had 5 players with 5 plate appearances plus the pitching. Mm, why did Ty France only have 3 plate appearances? Oh, that's right. He got hit. Everybody on the team had 4 plate appearances today. We should have been able to convert it into a win. It's just the timely hitting, and Minnesota had timely hitting. So it's just one of those things.